Hey guys, welcome back. Part 6 of how a Christian becomes a Christian psychic medium. Hang out with me while I finish getting ready for the day, okay? So, the last video, part 5, I explained my near death experience, which took quite a while to get through. It was a journey by itself. So, it took a long time. I had a 4-year hardcore hard addiction after my children's passing, and yeah, so I was by 22 I was squeaky clean. So I rededicated my life to Jesus and to God, and life started looking up. All my prayers were being answered. um, I took my life back like I always do. I always put my foot down because God says that we have the power within us. Jesus even said that when he left this earth, that we would be able to do the same works that he did, if not more. I even went back to my ex-husband trying to make my marriage work. That didn't work out. So, once he got a golf club a hold of me, yeah, it was over. I at least tried, right? Did everything I could. So, long story short, and trust me, my story is huge. Um, my now husband come into my life, saved my life, and though there were a lot of miscarriages, we got married and we had a living child and a beautiful life for a very long time. Though during that, I got pregnant with twins, and I miscarried one, but carried our youngest son uh, until he was stillborn, and he passed away as well. That is another story, but I'm bringing it up because of the amount of what God let me live through, because I was in labor at the hospital and they sent me home in labor. I had my son at home all alone. I almost bled to death. Yeah. So, with my story, there is so much that God Himself has gotten me through. Jesus took over everything. There were times that I felt like I wasn't being heard. There were times that my faith was not very strong. And there were times that I completely understood why people were like, well, why would you believe it all? And honestly, many times I did not know. But I never gave up my strength and my faith. And I remember during my near-death experience, Jesus appeared in the craziest way. Um, and yeah, I lived for a reason and for a purpose. So, to move on, I had a beautiful, beautiful life and a break. What I call, because I said, Lord, I need a break. My life has been so wild. Trying to fix my hair. Where's my clip? For so long, I need a break. Within all of that time. So, I had a break. But during this, it was like, I had friends that had haunted houses. I would go and take pictures, and I'll never forget the time I went to one friend's house, and my husband was with me, and they said that, there was a little girl named Emily. That was her name. Um, I am in the process of doing a video about this home. And my husband was with me. They said, you just knock on the wall 3 times and say, come out, wherever you are. And so my husband did it. And the little girl in spirit, not back. And we looked down the stairs, and everybody that was in that house was in a line downstairs. And I only took off running because he did. So my husband has been very much a part of a lot of things. He has witnessed so much, and the pictures I have of full body spirits, and then when his mom passed away, we ended up in her house, and there was so much activity already there. And Also, in that house, when my father-in-law passed, I looked up and my father-in-law was walking through the house, and I just chased him down, hollering, come back, come back, come back. I want to talk to you. I can see you. There's so many. And once we lived there, it was like, for example, I didn't feel like, after cleaning the kitchen, I didn't feel like sweeping right then. So I sat down with my husband, and my mother-in-law, oh man, she was very, very, very clean woman. She kept everything. And I sat down, and all of a sudden we heard, whap, and we both jumped up and run. And when we did, the broom that was in the corner of the room was in the middle of the kitchen floor. Okay, I'll sweep right now. There's a lot of things. There was already activity when my mother-in-law lived there after my father-in-law passed away, and there was activity before, like when they first moved in. There's many stories. It's nothing for me to communicate with spirit, to see those in spirit, to see and be aware of the things that have happened. A lot of my visions, it's nothing. I've always been a severe empath that I didn't understand, but I've always been a psychic medium. I just didn't understand how far it went because we weren't supposed to talk about it. But I will say part of the story, when my mother-in-law was about to pass, we had a lot of talks. She very much knew I was a Christian. I had the preacher come and we talked, to her. But when she was in the hospital, she was literally following something on the wall. And my sister-in-law asked her, "Would you tell Lucy what you're seeing?" And she shook her head yes. And I asked her, "Are you seeing those angels?" And she, and no one can deny that. But, during all this, my niece had passed and all that. So sitting in the hospital with her on the floor of the same hospital that my niece passed away, my husband's niece and my niece were best friends growing up. And I was sitting there with my mother-in-law. And I was taking care of her while my sister-in-law was doing whatever. And all of a sudden, my mother-in-law looked up at my sister-in-law and said, "Where'd Angel go?" Long story short, there was no nurse named Angel or even one that looked like her. My mother-in-law had been visited by my niece for many, many reasons. So make sure you check the prior videos and the ones to come of how a Christian is a Christian psychic medium.